Awesome, awesome, awesome. So welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Astrology Part 2, final class. And so I'm going to spend some time wrapping up. We're going to talk about degrees in astrology and what that means and how you can interpret them, as well as remember and kind of wrap up what we talked about in Part 2. And then that's going to be pretty beefy. And then we're going to close it out. And so if you're watching this on recording, on the replay, please feel free to email me with any final questions. I am, for those who are asking, yes, I will teach again, but I'm going to take the spring, summer off from teaching and focus on the podcast as well as the circle that I do every Sunday and my books. So, I get a bunch of things going on and I'm like, oh, which one am I doing? Am I doing, hi, everybody, here's the podcast. Hi, everybody, here's Wine, Cheese, and Wisdom. Hi, everybody, here's a circle. Hi, everybody, here's astrology. There's just too many things. And I really want to make sure that I show up 111% with whatever I do. So I'm really excited about this class. I will be teaching it next time, not under Mercury retrograde. That may help all of the information flow better out of my mouth into your head. So here we go. Without further ado, let's open it up. This is Astrology with Granddaughter Crow, Part 2, understanding the story that they tell, their relationships and communication. So once again, Part 1 was about meeting the players. We met the signs. We understood, oh, there's fire signs, earth signs, water signs, air signs, elements. We understand that they have various positions. There's cardinal, there's fixed, there's mutable. And so there, we understand that. We understand that the planets rule over signs. And although there's 10 planets, some of them share, like, Mercury shares a couple of them, Venus shares a couple of them, having a couple signs that they rule over. And we understand that there are houses and that these houses are the different aspects of our life. So, whether it's a self or stuff or early childhood education, home, creativity, day-to-day activity, relationships, life, death, rebirth, mental expansion, career, friendship, and then what I call the God box, which basically takes everything. And we also understand that the signs roll in a specific order, starting with Aries and ending with Pisces. They will always have that same order around the chart, but the planets, there is an order to them, but this order is so huge that we can't comprehend it or see it. So why even look at that pattern? There's always a pattern though. But we understand that, when you get different planets out there and, and what's at home, we used a lot of at home. And then we started playing around going, oh my God, well, what if they're not at home? How do I do that? And now we're talking about how they communicate. So when they're not at home, think of, if a planet that's at home, Mars is at home in the first house, and all of a sudden you find Mars in the sixth house or the eighth house, and you're just like, what does that mean? Think in terms of the that they are in a different culture that they weren't born to. That's basically it. It'd be like, I'm American. If I move to Mexico, I'd need to learn how to speak a different language. I'd need to learn how to communicate in a different way. I'm in a different environment, but I'm still me. So that kind of changes things. And then we talked about, the aspects. And I'll be reviewing the aspects in this part, but really we're talking about in part 1, the people, the players, where they're at home, all of that. And then we talk about how do they relate when they're actually talking in the stars. So let's go ahead and first part of this class will be talking about degrees. And then we're going to review all of the different aspects, and we're going to wrap her up. So, again, I'll say, if life is difficult and you don't understand it, and you used to be a religion and you could blame the devil, and now all you can do is blame Mercury retrograde, learn astrology. You can always say, that was the planet's fault. Just kidding. Take responsibilities. The planets have influence. They don't mess truly with your free will. You have free will, but they do have influence over you. So here we go. Half joking, half not. That's the crow caw. Okay, so what are degrees? When we talk about degrees, so literally, mathematically, you have a circle, which is the chart, and it has 360 degrees total, divided into 12 signs. That means that each sign will have 30 degrees per sign. 12 signs divided into the 360-degree circle gives each sign 30 degrees. So why then, Granddaughter Crow, don't you see 30? It always stops at 29. Oh, that's because we use zero degrees. Just like in the Tarot, major arcana, if you start with the Fool at 0, there's 22 higher arcana, but we end at 21, the World card. So instead of starting at 1 to 30, we actually start 0 to 29, but that's still 30 different degrees. These degrees assist us in seeing the aspects. So once again, and we'll review this again later on, aspects are how the planets communicate with each other. Trines are 120 degrees apart. Oppositions or opposites are 180 degrees apart, 360 divided by 2, 180. Squares are 90 degrees apart, which is 360 divided by 4. You've got your square, 90 degrees apart. Conjunct are 0 degrees apart, up to 8 to 10 degrees apart. All of these have a little bit of wiggle room, and the sextile is 60 degrees apart. So like I said, each of these have a little bit of 8 to 10 degrees wiggle room. So you can still have a trine, an opposition, a square, conjunct, or sextile. If it's not exactly 120, maybe it's 124 degrees, or maybe it's 116 degrees. That still would constitute that trine. So there's a little wiggle room on both sides. I think it's 8 degrees wiggle room. Some go up to 10 degrees wiggle room on each side of the degrees apart. So let's look at these degrees. First thing to know, there are things called critical degrees. And it's kind of funny because it's like, well, aren't all of them critical? Yes, but in astrology, there are definitely two that people will call critical degrees. So if you're talking to a seasoned astrologer, they will say, oh, if you have a 0 degree or a 29 degree, they will say that's a critical degree, which means that it's emphasized. It's emphasized. So let me just show you this again. What are the critical ones? Critical means it has higher impact of energy. If you have any planet that is in a 0 degree of a sign, it brings a kickstart. It's like off to the races. Let's go. There's a momentum. It's not just like, oh, let's wake up in the morning and begin a new day. It's just like jump out of bed, get going. Come on, come on, come on. 0 degrees in anything. Any planet that's sitting in a sign and the sign is at 0 degrees where the planet is sitting, that's a big kickstart. The second critical degrees would be the 29th. This one gives a higher impact of energy. Instead of going, well, it's at the end. So instead of going, oh, good night, let's read a bedtime story, it actually gives us pressure of, did I do everything that I needed to do in this sign? It emphasizes, I'm about ready to start something new. Let me wrap it all up. It's the final countdown. And it's not 1, It's not 2, it's not 27, it's not 28. The critical degrees are the impact, the 0 to the or the 29. Those two. And of course, if you look at it, you'll have like, if you have 0 degrees, you'll have that impact. If you have the sign in 1, 2, 3, I still think that it carries a little bit of that impact. It's just a little lessened. And if you have a planet that hits a sign that is in going out of that sign and into the next one, such as 27, 26, 27, 28, you know, you are going to have that pressure of examining the sign, examining what you've learned under that sign, but it's not going to be as intense as if it was 29. So you can kind of feel the ramp up and the ramp down. So you can take that as you are understanding. And I think that we do have at least one example in this class of somebody who is at the end of one sign and the beginning of another. So this might bring a little bit more clarity on why those signs are a little bit more emphasized in your brain than when you talk to somebody else that might be in that same sign, that maybe is in a lesser degree. Okay. There is a split. The court is still out on this one. Some astrologers say critical degrees, not just 0 and 29, but another critical degree is 15 because that's the middle. And so I like to say that it is a critical degree, that 15 degrees is critical, but not all astrologers are going to agree, and maybe it makes sense to you to have that as a critical one. If it does, and you say that, know that the court is still out on that one. The jury's still out, I guess. The court's in session, but the jury's still out. So, see, this is the clarity that I get when I'm not in Mercury retrograde. The court isn't out, the jury is. Okay, you guys, I know I'm silly. So, if it is at this point of 15 degrees, this is prime. This is the emphasis of being prime. So these are the critical degrees. 0, it's an emphasis on wake up, jump out of bed. You're learning everything that you can about the personality of that sign, whether it's Aries, Taurus, Gemini, so on and so forth. It is enhanced, it's higher impact energy. If you have something 29 degrees, there is an emphasis on, did I learn everything about the personality of this sign? They're going to behave a little bit more. They might be a little judgy about their sign. And then the middle prime, where it's like, yeah, I'm shining the brightest because I am in, my sun is 15 degrees Cancer, which means I am the most Cancer, blah, 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 blah. So those are critical degrees. So what about all the other degrees, Granddaughter Crow? Well, here we go. So anything 0 to 10, the jury has voted, and this is the verdict. 0 to 10 degrees, if you have a planet, and I'm going to keep saying this because I know that there may be a little confusion. Planets land on the house in a sign, and depending on where they land in that sign, the sign is the degrees, not the planet. The planet lands in this sign at this degree. Because if you were to, I won't confuse you. So it's always the sign that has the degrees, but it impacts the planet, and where it hits the sign in what degree shows emphasis as far as how much of that sign is coming through. And then again, with the planetary understanding of the sun being the bright part in the brain, and the moon being the heart, and Mercury being communication, and Mars being assertive, and so on and so forth. Venus, the planet of love. You understand that part. But when you're looking at degrees, we're always looking at signs, planets that land in the sign, and the sign is in what degree. So I just wanted to clarify that part. So if you have a planet, any planet that lands in a sign, if it lands between 0 and 10 degrees, This one is what I would, it's the morning, the beginning. It is the kickstart, but it is like what I would say, consider this to be morning time of a new day. I'm fresh into this sign. I'm just new at being Aries. I'm kind of an adolescent. I'm new at being Taurus. I'm new at being Gemini. There's an adolescence and there's a purity there. So I'm new at being a Cancer. I'm still struggling with, am I being emotionally manipulative? Am I, all of those lower things, but there's a purity with it. But it's more of a Cancer adolescent type of a thing. You know how when you meet a Cancer or another sign for that matter, and they kind of go, well, I'm not your typical Cancer, or it probably is because of the degrees and other aspects in their chart. So when they first come in, anything from 0 to 10 degrees, if a planet lands in a sign between 0 and 10, think of purity, innocence, morning, waking up, adolescence. That's a GDC thing. You're not going to find that in any book or anything. But to me, when I think of beginning, I think morning and adolescence. Those have direct correlations that may open your mind to giving you more words when you're reading a chart. So then, now let's go for 11 to 20 degrees. This is standard. 11 to 20 degrees would give this energy of prime, which is what I was just talking about, because with 15 being a critical, we're looking at this as prime. The way that I like to look at this is that that sign is at the noontime in full light. It's at their adulthood. It's at their solid structure. They are the epitome of that sign more so than other aspects or people in other degrees of that sign. It's solid. So, which brings us to the obvious 21 to 29. Like I said, this is the final countdown. This is a GDC thing. It's like nightfall. It's like evening. It's like we got to wrap up the day. It's like we're moving out of this sign and we're about ready to enter a new one. So what do we got to get done? This also is like the elder. So if you have let's say that your Libra is 28 degrees. Let's say your sun is 28 degrees Libra. You are at that part where you're trying to make sure that you understand all things Libra, connection, beauty, all things Libra, mental, all of that stuff, understanding relationships. You're mastering it if you land there. But then let's say that you have Scorpio, maybe Mercury in Scorpio. Let's just say that it's Scorpio 3 degrees. That would show that your Mercury is brand new learning how to communicate under Scorpion. It's pure, it's childlike, it's innocent, that kind of a thing. I don't know if I nailed those degrees or yet, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, so once again, degrees, it's really easy. Degrees allow us to understand aspects, how far things are apart, and what influence and dynamic does that relationship have? Do those planets have? So I'm going to review what we talked about this month. Trine, 120 degrees, give or take 8 to 10. Opposition, 180 degrees, give or take 8 to 10 degrees. Square, 90 degrees apart, give or take 8 to 10 degrees. Conjunct, 0 degrees apart, give or take 8 to 10 degrees. Sextile, 60 degrees apart, give or take 8 to 10 degrees. So now we understand how we can figure out. This is like, oh, the degrees are actually helping us to understand the aspects. So before we go back into the aspects, I want to kind of roll through what does these degrees mean. So I just got a very old familiar little chart that we have been staring at forever, even in the last class. Here we go, the house 1 through 12, signs in order: Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, blah, 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 Pisces. Planets, these are the rulers of these signs all the way down. The meaning of the house, first house, self, second house, stuff, etc. And we have the fire, earth, our firewood. So all of this is a familiar sign. But this is what I wanted to focus on. What does Aries look like if it is critical, if it's at a critical degree? If it's at 0 or 29, 0 degrees Aries means that Aries energy really is about fire and starting and movement and starting action. This means that somebody literally probably will walk around and bump their head because their action is before their thought. And when I say that, I mean literally. I have met Aries energy that's so on fire, that's so quick to go, that they literally, if you meet an Aries with it in the lower end, like on a critical point, you're going to see somebody who probably gets a lot of bruises on their noggin because they're moving faster than they're thinking. It's a correlation. It's really interesting. So then what does Aries look like at the end? This is the Aries at 29 degrees, and it's going to be like, did I get all my stuff? Did I self-express enough? Did you hear me? They might be a little bit louder. They might be a little bit more. But if you get an Aries at 15, they're just like, do, I'm an Aries. Yeah, 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 whatever's. So if you have an Aries between 1 and 10, you've got the pure, almost adolescent type of energy. Well, let's just go and do it. If you get the Aries from 11 to 20, you've got the Aries that's a little bit more like, maybe we do need to stop and just consider a little bit more, and then let's go. If you get the Aries at the end, you're going to get this mature Aries. Whoa, I don't know if that picked up, but my lights just flashed. You maybe that's Aries master. It's like flashing lights. No. You're going to get the Aries that's a little bit more of an elder, a little bit more mastering with their action and their fire and their masculinity. Same thing with Taurus. Okay? Taurus, if Taurus is critical, we'll do the all of those. If Taurus is critical 0 degrees, it is going to be this energy of maybe somebody who shops an awful lot. They want their stuff. They need their stuff, and they need it to be beautiful, and they need it now. They do not have patience. I don't want to wait for 7 to 10 business days for me to get my package. Fine, I'll pay an extra $30. I want it tomorrow. That would be them getting their stuff. Kickstart. At the end, they're going to be a little bit more like 29 degrees. They're going to be a little bit more like, I've got my will filled out. I know exactly who I want to give what to. It all has to do with Taurus stuff, right? And if you have the prime, you've just got the balanced person who's like, yeah, whatever, call me stubborn, I don't care. They're going to be like that. So if you have a 0 to 10 degrees Taurus, you've got somebody who is a pure, almost adolescent type of energy when it comes to Taurus energy. And Taurus, again, is earth energy and about their stuff and how beautiful their stuff is. If it's 11 to 20, they're going to be like, oh, I'm set up, whatever's, I'm set up. And if it's going to be at the end, they're going to be like, who should I give my stuff to? Who is deserving of my stuff? So then we're going to go ahead and hit it again with the Gemini. And I think you guys are starting to see the pattern that I've got. So Gemini energy is air, mutable air. So if you've got them at the critical points, Oh, we're talking lawyer. We're talking Gemini 0 degrees. They are going to be like, oh, I want to learn how to debate. I want to learn how to argue. I want to learn how to be a lawyer. I'm going to use this brain. I'm going to da 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 da. Gemini at 29 degrees is going to be like, yeah, I've got my doctorate and now I'm bored. I want to get something else. Should I get a double doctorate? Like, I already know everything, but I'm still curious. Gemini middle, yay, let's keep going to school. So if we got the 0 to 10 degree Gemini, they're going to be a lot more, I want to learn, I want to learn, I want to learn, I've got my mind, but they're also pure, but they're also adolescents. And they might be kind of like, well, I know, well, I know that. So then if you go the 11 to 20 degrees, you're going to get this Gemini who's just like, yeah, I'm a professor. I know what I know, and I know a little bit about everything, but I know what I know, and I teach, I don't know, I was going to say astrology, but that's kind of throwing myself under the bus. They would be a little bit more like, I'm a college professor on anthropology. It's like, oh, that's cool. And then the Taurus, they're like prime, they're an adult. The Gemini at the end is going to be like, they're getting ready to leave that sign and they're ready to they have that mastered. They're going to be a little bit more like, I am a seasoned lawyer, I have, and I think I'm going to go get something else in my degree. Maybe I'll write a book and share this knowledge. That's what a master elder Gemini would think like. So it's really interesting because I've always had the theory that there are different ages within the sign, and that's Granddaughter Crow. You can take it or leave it, whatever, or I'll put it in my book, right? But at the end of the day, you can see it within the degrees. You can see how old the person is in that sign, how far along they are evolved in that sign based on the degrees from 0 to 29, and interpret it as such. We've got time, so let's move into the Cancer. So Cancer, ruled by the moon, water sign, cardinal, the big starter of water. So if you've got a Cancer who is at a critical point coming in, they are going to wear their heart on their sleeve. They're going to be emotionally transparent. They're going to be like, everything is so big. If you have another Cancer at the end, they're going to be really thinking, as they're coming to the end, they're going to be really thinking about the lessons that they learned. Did I learn how to express my emotions correctly? Did I do a good job with not manipulating people? Did I elder this? Did I become a life coach because I love to connect on an emotional level? Did I do that? And then the fixed is just going to be like, I'm a Cancer, an adult Cancer. So again, 0 to 10, you've got a baby Cancer. All of a sudden, they're just crying, and you're like, Cancer, why are you crying? I don't know. I just got a lot of feelings and I just need to cry. It's like, okay, all right, you go ahead and do that. And then if you've got the Cancer who is like more of the 11 to 20, you've got these people who are like, okay, I have my emotions. I'm not going to let them rule me, but I do need to express them. And I'm going to be kind of gushy. And I'm going to want to talk about emotional stuff. And then you get the elder one. And the elder one's like, I think I'm going to write a book about how to work with your emotions, that it's okay to have them, but that it's like an orchestra and you need to actually, you're the conductor, your emotions are in the orchestra, and you have the drum section. Yes, I know you get angry. You have the violins. I know you get kind of sour and whiny, but at the end, I will call them forth when I mastered it. So now I'm thinking about that. I'm like, I wonder what degrees my sun in Cancer is. I'm like, am I the big baby? Oh, am I the orchestra? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So then let's take a look at here. Then the Leo. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Leo energy. Ah, Leo critical degrees. Zero, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. Leos are the sun. Everything is important. They are fixed fire. So if you get that Leo that's 0 degree, you've got that person that watches all of their social media accounts to make sure that they have their a good clientele. They're the influencer. They know how to do this. They want to go and da 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 da. They are go big or go home. They love to be seen as the life of the party. It's hard, the adolescence and the purity, because you can look at them and go, oh my God, they're so cute. Or you could go, oh my God, lose your ego. It is so big. The rest of us are here, sunshine. I know I might be the moon, but we're still here. And the baby Leo's like, I'm the biggest thing of all. And then if you go to the critical one, that's the mature Leo. That's like, I love entertainment. Now, if you want me to entertain you, fine, I can do that. But I also want you to entertain me too. There's a little bit more of there's a lot less, they're the master. And then you have the middle one where they're just like, I'm the sunshine. And that's it. They're an adult Leo. So again, 0 to 10, they're like, oh, I need to be popular. I need to be popular. And then the 11 to 20, I'm comfortable on stage. That's cool. Whatever, you know. And then the mature ones, the 21 to 29, they're the elders. It's like, look at that guy with his ego. That's funny. Relax, man. It's not all about you. But they're still paying attention to the ego, right? Maturity. We have time, so let's roll through some more. By this time, you guys probably have an idea of what I'm going to say, but I'm still going to say it because that's what astrology is about, saying the same thing from 100 different ways. Virgo energy, earth mutable. Baby Virgo. Yee. Critical point Virgo. Virgos are earth signs, but they're also at home in the sixth house, which is the day-to-day activities, health, and well-being. So if you get a 0 Virgo, that's like the type of person that comes over to your house for a visit, decides to go to the bathroom, and then they organize your medicine cabinet. It's like, so then you have the critical 29-degree Virgo, who is just like, I'll teach you organizational skills, yada, 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 whatever. And then you have the 15-degree Leo or Virgo, who's going to be more like, um, oh, they're not necessarily, they're enough self-aware that they're kind of like, I really hope they ask me to, I've gotten in trouble enough by my friends for reorganizing their medicine cabinets. I really want to get into their closet and reorganize that too, but maybe I'll just maybe that's my forte. Maybe I will open up a shop about, how to organize things, or maybe I will actually be that person who helps people unclutter. They're mature, that kind of a thing. So 0 to 10, I gotta organize everything. You have a spot over there. Oh my God, you've got some dust over here. And it's just like, you gotta notice everything and tell us that you're noticing everything. Okay. All right. The way you love me is telling me where I could correct myself. Oh, okay. The 15, the 20, the 11 to 20 is going to be like, maybe this is my forte. Maybe I'll become a nutritionist, or maybe I'll become somebody who helps people with their closet. The elder 21 to 29 Virgo is going to be a little bit more like, I went to school for organizational development, and I am now going to teach or write a book on how you can learn how to declutter your own closet. If you haven't worn that item in the last year, throw it out. If you forgot you had that, throw it out. But I'm not going to do it for you. I'm tired of it. That would be Virgo. Yay, Virgos. Okay, Libra energy. Libra, again, is air, cardinal air. They're really about relationships, not just like intimate relationships, all relationships. They enjoy the communication between themselves and another. And they really understand, and they also watch other people and how the other people communicate with each other. Very, very good with words, knows a little bit about a lot. They start the conversation. They know how they're pleasant, they like beauty, and they know how to approach people. So you've got the 0 degree to the end. 0 degree is going to be like, it's all about connection. So they're going to be like, I have this many friends, or I really made that person smile, or they get really excited about it. And then you've got the elderly Libra who's just like, I am very wise when it comes to relationships. Maybe I'll write a book. Maybe if you pay me, I'll help you with yours because I've been watching this for a long time. There are so many nuances within relationships. Be careful what you say, kind of a thing. And then the middle Libra, who's like, maybe I'll be a teacher or start a book club. They're like, I want to talk to people. I want good conversation. So again, 0 to 10, you've got these people who are just so excited to get to know everybody. You've got the mature Leo, the 11 to about 20. Their energy is going to be a little bit more like, I really do want to study relationships and I want to pay a lot of attention, but I'm also not just observing my relationship with another. I'm now observing this person's relationship with that. Oh, did you see that dynamic? And then the elder ones are going to be like, yep, oh yeah, uh-huh. I don't only see relationships between people, myself and others. I also see relationships between other people and other things. And I also see relationships between the political climate and a person or a group. They see these bigger dynamics, right? So let's keep going. Now we've got the Scorpio. Love them. Scorpios, life, death, rebirth, water, fixed water. Okay, so Scorpio, critical 0 Scorpio. They're going to be like, tell me a secret. Tell me a secret. Tell me a secret. Do I know you the most? We got a secret, don't we? We know each other. I know things about you that nobody else knows. You know things about me that nobody else knows. And we're having fun in this dynamic. This is great. We have this connection and nobody else knows. It's this very interesting energy. If you go critical 29 degrees, you got the Scorpio who's like, yep, karma, bitches. That's what happens. It's going to be, they're going to be kind of observing and feel free to, share what you, this is just me improvising this energy. They're going to be like, yeah, well, they shouldn't have done what they did. That's what happens. And then you've got the middle Scorpio who's just kind of like, still, they want psychology. They want to understand the deeper life, death, and rebirth. The older Scorpio might actually be a person who is like, ooh, you know what would be interesting? What if the younger Scorpio, 0 to 10, and I want your feedback, is more about life? What if the middle Scorpio, the prime from 11 um, to 20, is more about death? And then what if the last part is more about rebirth? This is why I teach classes, is because I am still curious like a child. But nonetheless, if that didn't make sense, throw it away, but let it stir your mind. Elder Scorpio might actually be a hospice nurse or a priest that takes your confessions because they've seen what's under the rug. Early Scorpio, what's under the rug? Ooh, middle Scorpio, damn it, I knew that was under the rug. Older Scorpio, yep, That's what's under your rug. Sorry, death penalty. Peace out. See you on the flip side. It is funny. Okay. So now we've got the Sag. Woo! Another fire sign, final fire sign, mental expansion, Jupiter, the largest planet, fire, mutable, grow that fire, masculine. Okay, so what I would say is critical points. 0, Sagittarius, probably is going to be the one who wants to start the party. Hey, everybody, let's get together. Let's get high as a kite, drunk as a skunk, and go on a roller coaster all day long, yo. That kind of life of the party kind of stuff. Critical 29 degrees Sagittarius is like, they actually do own the t-shirt, been there, done that, they actually are like, oh, they've got their stories. Oh yeah, I remember. Oh yeah, I've jumped out of a plane. Yes, I've been to Alcatraz. Yes, I've been ghost hunting. All they have all that experience. Then the middle lane would be something like, um, I know that I'm the life of the party, but I don't have to put the party together. You already know that, and you'll invite me because I'm so much fun. Kind of energy, happy-go-lucky, etc. But they also can be a little more casual with relationships. They're a little bit more casual with relationships. I think that that's good. I mean, I think that they go into a relationship, they go really deep, and then they're like, okay, bye, I'm going on my next date. I mean, it's very move, go big, go home, change your clothes, go bigger, because we're Sagittarius energy. So if you've got the 0 to 10, you're looking at, ooh, I want to create fun for everybody. I want to have a lot of activities. If you are like 11 to 20, maybe your Sagittarian energy is like, yeah, I own a theme park, and you invite me and I'll come over there and be on stage and I'll entertain you and this and that. Elder Sagittarian is going to kind of be like, oh, I got some stories for you, yo. See, I got this when, and then this tattoo and this, and they're that. Still fun. I mean, think of fun uncle energy. That's how I see Sagittarians. Fun uncle. Okay, Capricorn. Now the Capricorns, we've got the Earth Cardinal. Let's go into business together. 0 Capricorn energy, critical point. I'm brand new to business. I want to learn business. I want to study business. I want to see the world, how it works through business. I am going to think about, these types of things. Then you've got the critical point, 29. Well, I learned about business. Now I might want to open up a university on teaching other people business because I know everything about business. Middle point, they're like, I own my own company and I'm a self-made millionaire at 29. That kind of an energy. So you've got, again, granddaughter improvising just with the energy to stir your mind. 0 to 10, I want to learn all there is to know about business. I want to engage in business transactions, that kind of thing. Middle, 11 to 20, I own my business and I'm doing really well. At the end, I got nothing to prove. Business is business. And I'll teach you about business. I'll open up a company on how to help you open up a company. Business. Okay, you guys. So now, almost done. Aquarius. We're in the dawning of the age of Aquarius. How long have we been in that dawning? How long are we in the age of Aquarius? Next class, the age of Aquarius. Air sign, fixed masculine energy. Critical point 0, Aquarius. I would say this one's a harder one for me to define because Aquarius energy ruled by Uranus is always a step ahead. So I'm going to just solidify the terms of Aquarius as humanitarian, frontline, zero, critical point, humanitarian energy. I'm going to organize marches for breast cancer awareness. I want to participate. Sign me up for any meetup group that has to do with humanitarianism, and I'm there. Critical point exiting 29% or 29 degrees Aquarius. Oh, you guys, I did what I could. You guys are so slow. I'll pray for you. Help them find their way, baby Jesus. Middle point Aquarius, as far as humanity goes, middle point Aquarius is going to be that one who really kind of gets into something humanitarian, looking at that bigger picture. Of course, they're friends and all of that kind of stuff, but they're going to be a little bit more. I'm going to choose a couple of different topics that really move my heart, and that's what I'm going to represent. I'm not going to give up, and I'm not going to start something. I'm just going to show up, and there we go. So 0 to 10, you've got these younger, pure, we need to save the world energy. 11 to 20, there's too many things in the world to save. Let's focus on a couple of them. And 21 to 29, I told you guys, but it's no matter how hard you try, there's always a new something on the horizon. Good luck, yo. Peace out. That kind of a thing. So here's our last one, Pisces. Pisces energy, they are the water, mutable water, spirituality and dreams, Neptune. Granddaughter Crow, I've taken this class for 8 weeks now, and I still don't know the energy of that Neptune. Yeah, that's Neptune. Can't pin me down, can't pin me down. I'm like a dream. If you think I can't grab, I know what Mercury and Mars is. I don't understand that Neptune. That means you understand that Neptune. So you've got Pisces at the beginning. Um, I'm sorry, the thought that came into my mind is I'm psychic and I know everything. But if in the future a Pisces is watching this, I don't want to hurt their feelings. But it is about that psychic ability. It is about that water, that expansive water, that clarity around all of that type of thing. So the beginning of that is going to be that pure energy. I'm a love and light being, I am pure energy. Understand these things. And I think that the world might be going to hell in a handbasket. So I will send them Reiki energy. Then the critical point of the Pisces. This is where they've been around the block and they've seen so much around the quote unquote spirituality and dreamlike state that I'm talking about, focusing on them. They're going to be like, yep, sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not. Hey, you know what? Yeah, I opened up that cult and I shut it down, that kind of a thing. And then the middle ground is going to be like, I know enough to open up a cult. And if I could get a Leo on board and a Sagittarius and a Capricorn to teach me how to design it, I will be Jesus. That kind of an energy. Sorry, baby Jesus. I think he was Pisces, actually. Hence the fish. So, so anyway, 0 to 10, brand new psychic energy, loving it, trying to figure out a whole bunch of stuff. Middle ground, I know a lot, enough to maybe start something. And then at the end, it's like, good luck, guys. Yep, I'll tell you, life after death. I've been there, came back, and I'm going to tell you again. Just a very interesting energy. And so we rolled through all of those, and we're almost to the top of the hour. So those are degrees. I'm going to take maybe 3 to 5 minutes. Remember, the communication trinity. These are 120 degrees apart. Hence, they are planets in the same element, earth, air, fire, water. They talk to each other. They're easy to understand because they're in the same element, and this shows a talent. Opposition, planets talking to planets. They are 180 degrees apart. They understand the world through understanding opposition, planets in opposite signs. We've got the square, jagged edges, planets talking to planets. These are 90 degrees apart, 90, 180, 270, 360. That makes a square in the circle. And so you've got now these are planets in the same quality. They're all cardinal, they're all fixed, they're all mutable. So it'd be like Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, and Libra getting together. They're going to be starting something, even though they're in different elements, etc. Fixed. We've got the Leos, the Tauruses, the Aquarians, and the Scorpions or Scorpios. They're going to be sitting there all in fixed sign, but they're all different elements, earth, air, fire, water. So they can build on each other, but it's also, there can be some tension. And again, the mutable ones, the Gemini, the Pisces, the Virgo, and Sagittarius energy. Those are tension in order to move forward. Conjunct, they're 0 degrees apart or 8 degrees apart on either side. They overlap each other. So basically it's kind of like both of them are married together and those two planets are actually conjunct. They're sitting on top of each other. So it's hard for them to determine, was that this or that? It's blended, which is actually a very powerful gift to have. Sextiles, 60 degrees apart, planets talking to planets. They're either masculine to masculine or feminine to feminine. They skip a sign. They're always every other sign. These are the ones that it's like if there also is a talent, but these are the talents that they recognize because it's like just 60 degrees apart. They're like, oh, I have a talent of talking. Maybe I'll open a podcast. And then we've got the chart. Again, what we were looking at in the chart is 14 degrees. Oh, I am 14 degrees Sun. Here it's coming up. 20 degrees Leo. Oh, okay. 14 degrees Mercury. Okay, so I'm still baby Mercury, and that's in Cancer. So a lot of that adult Cancer, but not old school Cancer or mature enough Cancer. Venus, 23 degrees. Wow, that looks like I have something to say. 22 degrees in Mars. Okay, we've got Mars in Cancer at 22 degrees. Okay, so I do have some maturity in my Cancer. Yoo-hoo! We've got Jupiter in Libra at 26 degrees, so I'm kind of moving out of that Libra. Saturn in Taurus at 19 degrees. Uranus in Libra at 4 degrees. Okay, so I'm still watching how I can connect with Uranus, which rules over Aquarius, which is one of the most difficult ones that I did, right? That actually makes sense. Neptune and Scorpio at 28 degrees. Holy shit. That's critical. Pluto in Venus at 24 degrees. Okay, I do have some. And then we have these. These at the end, I'm not going to get into them, but basically they mark minutes. Every degree has 60 minutes. And if we did part 3, I'd learn that to show you, but this is literally, I'm 14 degrees and 24 minutes Sun in Cancer. Always leave them wanting more, Granddaughter Crow. So with that being said, we've got yay! Astrology with Granddaughter Crow. Understand the stories that they tell and the relationships and the way that they communicate. This is the final one, and please feel free. I have sent you all of them that you signed up for, and feel free to, in the future, ask me questions. If you review them in July and you're just like, wait, what? You can come back and go, hey, in this, at this number in this one, you said this. And then I'll be like, oh, that was Mercury retrograde, disregard, you know. Nevertheless, you guys, I am so happy. And I will see you next time on Catch you on the Flippity Flip.